Madhioli Charanam. In this podcast episode, Madhuri Amma takes a quote from one of Sri Amma Pujyasri Madhioli Saraswathy's books and explains the profound layers of meaning that this quote contains. You will hear a devotee read out the quote, which will then be followed by Madhuri Amma's explanation. We hope you enjoy the episode. Madhioli Charanam.
Mathioli Charanam, Jayanandalala. I let Urmila read out the quote.
Our devotion will keep him bound to us. He will be bound by our true love. He will be bound by our straightforwardness and surrender.
How can God be bound? That's something. It's like she's repeated. She's repeatedly saying, he will be bound, he will be bound, he will be bound. But yes, he will be bound. Ambal's quotes are so beautiful. He will be bound. And how? I have this interesting story from Mahabharata to give you that example. It is obviously from Ambal's book, Fulfillment. And the chapter is Only He is the Motivator, from the book Fulfillment. And here she has taken one incident from Mahabharata. The scene is the 12 years of exile is done. Pandavas are back, but then 1 year they have to stay disguised. So let's say 13 years, right? 13 years of exile is done and they're back. And Dharmaputran wanted to get his share of the kingdom. He's deeply thinking. He's not like the other brothers who have taken oaths and all that. Each one has taken an oath to kill one person, the Kauravas. So angry after what had all happened. Which I will not say it's wrong. Because when something like this immense injustice happens, the Lord himself has emerged to set it right. But yeah, Dharmaputran is on another scale. Even this did not spark his anger. So he's thinking on, on the grounds of peace. Can you imagine? Yeah. So he was not on the revenge path. Forget war. Forget war. So he was not even on the same page. He wanted to peace talk. Even worse. Now he knows he can't approach his brothers or his wife. He can't even talk about this to them. So he's quietly thinking, the only person comes to his mind is Lord Krishna. Yeah, whatever it is, we can get away with the Lord. We can show our stupidity, our ignorance. He'll take it. So he goes and he poses his concerns. He approaches Lord Krishna and he tells him, I'm feeling very uneasy. Swami, I want something. I want something to be done. So Krishna looks at him and says, yes, Dharma, who's stopping you? Do it. Whatever you want, get it. So he says, no, I don't know how to get it. You are the right person for it. I want you to take a message for me. A peace message to Duryodhana. Asking for half the kingdom. Krishna is very, he looks at him and he says, okay, what if he says no? So Dharma says, if he says no, then ask him for 5 princely states. That is enough for him. Okay, I'll ask. But what if he says no for that? Okay, if he does not agree, then ask him for 5 towns. Okay. Again, Dharma, what if he says no? Then no worries, Krishna, you can ask him for just 5 houses. Enough for all 5 of us. 5 houses. That he will not disagree to. He will give that, no, Krishna? Krishna's like, yeah, 5 houses should not be difficult. I can arrange for 5 houses. Before I go, I would definitely like to tell your brothers that I'm going here with this peace talk. Okay? Now that is the catch. He says, I'll tell them and then go. Now the brothers and Draupadi, after they hear about this, they are storming. They are so angry. They are furious and shocked. After the exile, they come back and this man, what is he made of? And of course, they cannot show their anger on him. There's no point. They show all their anger on Lord Krishna. They say, Krishna, I didn't expect this from you. I didn't expect this from you. You are the epitome of dharma, righteousness. How could you agree to this? You are going as a messenger, taking a begging bowl to Duryodhana, they say. I did not expect this from you. We all took oaths. Yes, they all took oaths in front of Lord Krishna only. When they were angry, they all took their oaths. Draupadi said she's not going to tie her hair, and Bhima said that, Arjuna said this. Everyone took their oaths in front of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna said, even if the mountain disappears, the sky disappears, the earth is gone, my word to you will remain. Whatever oaths you took, I will make sure it is fulfilled. At that time he did. He said that. So they're reminding him, you said this. Oh, Krishna smiles and he says, oh, nothing has changed. Because I go as a messenger, does that mean everything has changed? He said, you all took oaths in front of me as a witness. It is my responsibility to make sure that it is fulfilled more than you. So don't worry. They all took a relief. And then he said, Sahadeva, you come with me. Let's go. Sahadeva is always his favorite, Lord Krishna's. Sahadeva is one of the most matured Pandu brothers. He's a very matured and he's very well knowledgeable. in his scriptures, and he understands what Krishna's plays are even before it is executed, because he works in silence. He is not Dharmaputra nor the other brothers. So he's kind of in between, and he can see everything very clearly. We don't have much role on Sahadeva, but there is so much substance about him because he's mostly silent. So he takes Sahadeva with him. He says, "Come, let's go, Sahadeva." So Krishna asks him on the way, says, "Sahadeva, give me some ideas. How do we stop this war?" I need some ideas from you. Sahadeva smiles. He knows the Lord's games. He knows everything. He was playing. He knew the Lord is playing with him, and so he was playing too. He played along. He said, "Prabhu, very simple. Ask Arjuna to break his bow. Ask Bhima to break his mace. Ask Panchali to cut her hair. And make Karna the king. And last, how about me tying you up and stopping you from going to Hastinapur? Then we can stop this war, Prabhu," he says, and laughs, saying it. Lord Krishna laughs even louder. He says, "You know what I like the most, Sahadeva? You saying that you can tie me up. Can you tie me up, Sahadeva?" he says. And he becomes bigger and many, 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 many forms everywhere. He manifests into so many forms, laughing. Everywhere he sees Lord Krishna. "Can you tie me, Sahadeva? Try it. Come," he says. Sahadeva looks everywhere. He's more overwhelmed. He doesn't get perturbed because he already knows this is the Lord of the universe. He closes his eyes. He starts meditating and he chants, "Om Namo Vishwarupaya Vishwasiddhyanta Hetave Vishweshwaraya Vishwaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Namo Vigna Rupaya Paramanada Rupine Krishnaya Gopinathaya Govindaya Namo Namaha." He chants this many times with eyes closed, thinking about the Lord. Soon all those many, 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 many forms of the Lord come and merge into one. They all come and settle in his heart as one. And the Lord is in his heart, sitting in his heart. Bound by his bhakti, bound by his strong faith and love for him. This is the same Lord that even Mother Yashoda couldn't bind, tie him to. He allowed her to tie. When he wants to escape, he escaped. And she would wonder how he escaped. He could not be tied up by the gopis either. Same thing. He wanted to be tied up, he would come. He escaped whenever he wanted. But here, he couldn't run away. He came and he settled in his heart. He came under Sahadeva's spell. The Lord was so pleased. He said, Sahadeva, ask me, what do you want? Ask me any boon. I'm so happy with you. Sahadeva says, Prabhu, in the war, you should protect all of us 5 brothers. You should always be with us and protect us. And the Lord smiles and says, Sahadeva, you gave it a good thought? Are you sure? This is all you want to ask? He says, yes. The Lord grants it. Later, after the war, Karna's lying dead and Kunti's crying over his dead body. My son, I could not save you, and all that. Sahadeva looks at it and he feels devastated. He felt sorry that he could not save this brother. Because that time he was not aware. You need the Lord's grace to bind him. Also, you need the Lord's grace to ask for the right thing. Bind him is one. Asking also. He will seal the lips. He will make you forget. So you will not be able to ask the right thing. There's only one chance. It's not like going and asking Ambal, Ambal enakku idu venum, Ambal enakku panni kodu Ambal. No. When Ambal asks, உனக்கு என்ன வேணும் சொல்லு, நான் தரேன். That is the moment we have to get our answers. The boon right. Yeah, not many of us have had the opportunities to see Ambal, and a lot of us ask her many things. She didn't ask you, Kailin. Nobody asked. She didn't ask me what you want. But we go and ask. It's a funny incident that has happened one time when Ambal met, I think he was not an Indian origin. He was probably from another country. And he came and saw her. He was just sitting there and watching, like he was seeing some, I don't know, he was in a trance. He was just mesmerized by her look, I think. He was just sitting and staring at her. And she asked him, she has never asked this to anybody, okay? And she looked at him and she asked, உனக்கு என்ன வேணும் சொல்லு நான் தரேன். Even now, when I think about it, it's funny. And then everybody had to translate it to him, saying, Ambal is asking, what do you want? Tell me, I'll give it to you. So he was like, oh, really? Oh, wow. And then he looks at her and he says, I don't want anything. I'm very happy. I'm very content. And then everybody around him is like, what are you doing? Ambal is asking you what you want. This is the time you need to ask what you want. Ask for $1 million. Ask for a car. And he was literally saying, no, I'm very happy. I'm very good. And then Ambal was laughing even louder. To the state, you know why she asked him that question? She already knew he was content. She already knew he's not going to ask her anything. At the same time, she wanted the others around him to know this is who you're supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to be. It's incredible how she plays games. And it was funny, the others were all getting so stressed. Enkita keka matala in the question. Why isn't she asking me? She didn't ask me this question. I have so much to ask. No, she won't ask. She already knew that man is going to say that and very conveniently asked. It's so cute. I can't even forget that incident. It is priceless. I'm sure any Nandaji will know that Ambal has never, never asked you, உனக்கு என்ன வேணும் சொல்லு நான் தரேன். She has never said that. That is also her leela. But when she asks this also, she ties the tongue, and what you have to ask, you may not ask. That has also happened. A lot of us go to her to talk. We have millions of things to ask. I usually tell devotees, write it down, write it down. They don't understand the seriousness of it. They say, no, I have it, because your mind is so clear. There is only one problem in our life. We'll never forget it. So they go to Ambal, and then after they come out, I tell them, everything good. ஐயோ கேட்க வேணுங்கிறத நான் மறந்தே போயிட்டேன். They'll say, what I wanted to ask, I completely forgot. I said, I told you to write it down, right? No, I don't know how I forgot. I don't know. Oh, that's her magic. She erased your, completely erased. That's the magic of Ambal. When you go see her, you'll forget everything. You're so happy, like you saw, you know. And then, எப்படி இருக்க நல்லா இருக்கியா அது இருக்கா இது இருக்கா all that words, and then they'll கதையெல்லாம் பேசிட்டு they'll talk all the stories, and then they'll come out, oh no, I forgot to ask her. I forgot to ask her. This is not once or twice, this is every time it happens, and I tell them, please write it down, please write it down. And then they started writing it down. Some of them, even after writing down, they forgot they had a paper, and they've written it down and they've come out with it. That is also her play. That has also happened. I'm not kidding. So Ambal and her leelas are incredible. I can just keep going on and on. And with all this, I laugh. I have fun, you know, how she plays with our human mind. Doesn't she know what we have, what issues we have, what problems we have? If she decides that you don't have to ask anything, that's it. You don't have to ask anything. You forget. So coming back to this quote, the thing about binding the Lord to us. This is a beautiful story how Sahadeva did it. Just with his love and bhakti, he bound the Lord, who has so many manifestations and so many forms he took. Can you imagine him coming and settling in his heart? Huh? That is the power of a devotee. That is the power of a devotee. I have experienced it in my own life when I say that Ambal is always with me. When I get a little disappointed or upset, immediately she shows up in my dream. She'll either give me a hug and a kiss, like she's handling a small child. She'll hug me and she'll kiss me, kisses me here. She'll kiss me in my cheek. She'll hug me so tight, I can feel it. One thing is she cannot see me upset. I don't get upset too much. Because of detachment, the upset does not happen too much. Very rarely it happens, but when it happens, she comes immediately because she has told me herself when she was in her physical form. She said, "உன்னோட கண்ணிலேந்து ஒரு சொட்டு தண்ணி வராம நான் பார்த்துப்பேன்." So what does that mean? I will make sure that there is not one tear that flows out of your eye. I will make sure. This is not some ordinary person saying this, the one who has created everything. She says, I will make sure there is not one tear coming out of your eye. And she does. She does. When a devotee is able to bind the Lord, it is a beautiful feeling because after that, the Lord takes over. The devotee is not there. It's like how I was listening to one Vishakahari's speech one time, long back. And she had said this beautiful example, which I'm stating. She gave an example of a lioness carrying her cub. And she gave an example of a monkey, a little monkey holding on to the mother. When you pay attention, a little monkey holds on to its mother in the back. And it's holding on. So the whole pressure is on the little monkey. It has to hold on. If it leaves, it drops. And it happens too. It drops and then it'll run back and then hold back on. Whereas the lioness, the cub does nothing. It's like, and the lioness is holding the cub by the neck. The same lioness that can just tear up into pieces its prey, holds the cub so beautifully. I'm like, that is nature. See, anybody talks about animals, I am in full attention because there is no bigger lesson from nature. There is nothing else. It's all given to us in a platter. We just have to pay attention. How does a lioness hold a cub? And the cub has nothing, it doesn't do anything. It's like hanging there. Take me wherever I'll come. That is how we are supposed to be. That is exactly how we're supposed to be. She'll never drop it. Once she gets a hold of the cup, she'll never drop. She'll slowly, gently go and place it where it belongs. I love watching the lioness and the cubs. They're so cute. And at the same time, she's very strict. Very strict. She'll give it one whack if they don't listen. So cute. I love watching them. Best mother is the nature. Strict and gentle. I love that combination. Just like our Ambal. With that, we come to an end of this session. Can you please read that again, Nirmala?
Yes, Amma. Our devotion will keep him bound to us. He will be bound by our true love. He will be bound by our straightforwardness and surrender.
Nice. It all come together, right? Mathioli Charanam Jainandalal.